Hello, everybody,
Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome.
and
So,
welcome to another episode of How to Draw Anything with Debbie and Lynn.
Yeah.
And today we even have a special guest. Actually, let's start with our special guest.
hi, my name is Jenna, and I work for San Mateo County Libraries, and you might recognize me from the Foster City branch.
Yes, we're very excited to have you here.
And how about you, Lynn?
My name is Lynn. I also work for San Mateo County Libraries. If you recognize my face, it may be from the other art programs that we've been doing, or it may be from the Belmont branch. And last but not least,
Hi, everybody. I'm Debbie Huey. I also work for San Mateo County Libraries, and you usually can find me at the Millbrae branch. So thanks for joining us for our next episode. Before we start up, I just wanted to give our regular spiel of this being just one program of many at our www.smcl.org. We have a lot of great programs going on. We have story times, we have crafting with Kelly, we have open labs with Ricardo, and a ton of story times in different languages. So be sure to check out smcl.org. And one more thing also, if you haven't filled out your census, it's not too late. You can go to my2020census.gov, make yourself counted, make yourself counted for to secure funds for healthcare, for schools, for housing, and so much more. It's really important to get counted. So if you haven't done it, take a little bit of time. It just takes like 5 minutes to fill it out. Go to my2020census.gov. All right, so you guys ready to start drawing today?
yeah. So we got a couple of drawing games lined up today. Is that right?
So as usual, I'm going to be using my my iPad, and I'm going to share my video. Hold on one second. Okay, and you should see our screen. Yay!
Yay.
All right. So today we're going to be doing some fun doodles, and we're going to use our imaginations to create things that we've never seen before, whether they're characters or just, fun drawings that just come out of our imaginations. So everybody, you want to grab either a piece of paper, something to draw on, maybe your sketchbook, but just a plain old piece of paper works. Grab your pencil, maybe a pen, maybe some coloring markers or crayons.
Getting fancy.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah, grab all of those drawing utensils so that you can draw along too. So the first game we're going to start with is just doing some random little shapes that we're going to draw on our paper, and then we're going to use our imaginations to draw something else from those shapes. So I'm going to just start with something here. And then I'm going to do another one here.
Ooh.
Oh, I don't know what that is. And then I'm just going to do another one there.
Interesting.
See your face.
You see a face?
Eyes, nose, mouth.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, it does look like a snowman. I see a snowman with a carrot nose.
A little bit like a melty snowman.
Yeah.
Do you see anything in this one shape? Jenna, what do you think? Do you see anything that like it reminds you of something?
Sort of like a snowball in motion, or like a flying jellyfish, or
Oh no! I think I drew something like this before.
I think you did.
A pattern is emerging.
A jellyfish. Wait, no, I did a jellyfish last time too. A snowball, you said.
Like a little emoji flying snowball or something.
Let's see. That's a big mouth. And I'm going to draw some squinty eyes. And some eyebrows.
Oh,
Wait, I don't like those eyebrows. She looks kind of mad, huh?
Yeah.
Should I give him a nose?
sure.
And not a happy snowball.
Not a happy snowball because it's gonna go splat and just.
Oh, the final roller coaster of his life.
Oh, sad snowball.
Oh,
How about this shape? Do you see anything? Even if we turn it,
Oh.
we can turn it this way too.
it's,
Do you guys see anything?
it's almost making me think of a car.
Oh,
Like those like little punch buggy ones that are very small and round.
is in this orientation here?
Yes. Yeah, so like the left side is where it goes into the hood of the car.
It like does it slant down the hood? Is that what it is? Or
I think so.
I don't know.
I'm not a car person. I can't draw cars, but
I
like the fact that it has like a slope down makes me think of how cars like have their windshields.
see. I think I'm gonna raise this a little bit.
It looks like one of those cars that would have a face.
I was gonna say like also maybe a clown car. So
Oh.
Let's see. That's the headlight. I'm gonna move the headlight actually. Headlight and a little bit of a grill. I'm gonna do a little bit of erasing. And the window. I'm not good with drawing cars either.
they're weirdly difficult.
That's
Like
one of my weaknesses.
you think it wouldn't be terrible because they're one of like the single most this is made up of shapes thing that exist, but there's so much in it that
Is it like hands? Talking
Yeah.
about how difficult it is to
you
draw
see them
hands.
constantly and then you try and draw it and you're like, actually, no.
Yes.
All of my cars end up looking like these punch buggy cars. I just
Oh yeah.
I can't do like racing cars or anything like that.
Hmm. What kind of things do you like to draw, Jenna?
Mostly sort of like anime influenced characters. So I have not practiced a realistic style like during your classes.
Oh, I don't even consider that realistic.
Is that a giraffe in the car? Aw.
Kind of made me inspired by those like Richard Scarry stories. I don't know if you guys read
Yeah.
Richard Scarry or not. But there's always animals driving cars.
That makes me think of those ads where even a basketball player can fit into this tiny car.
That's fun. All right. And our final shape.
Mm,
Gosh, that could be a car too.
I almost see a paper airplane.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw a space shuttle.
Ooh, that's cool.
That sounds hard to
Oh.
draw.
Space shuttle.
Yeah, we're getting some challenges today.
Yeah. I don't know. I think so like this.
Mhm.
I don't know if I'm doing this right.
It can be an imaginary space shuttle. It doesn't need to be scientifically proven to fly.
Aerodynamic.
It's got those windows maybe.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
And this part's probably gonna break off or something, right?
A little parachute.
Yeah.
And then this has like flames
Yeah.
coming out.
Maybe that's why the snowball's getting like blown away. He's not being thrown, he's being melted.
Oh dear.
I don't know which is
Became a whole
worse.
story.
Helps to do sound effects while you're drawing sometimes.
It just makes it feel better.
Sometimes I like watching people draw and the funny expressions that they make.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of embarrassing too. I
but
haven't
it's a
watched-
proven tactic.
Yeah.
You can see the animation classics doing it.
Mhm.
Do they copy the expression of the thing they're drawing if they're drawing something with expressions, or?
They
I do.
make the expression.
I think I do that.
Yeah.
When I drew this, I was probably like, that's my attempt at a space shuttle.
It's a solid attempt.
I don't know about that. That was
You
kind of
cannot deny it was an
Yeah.
attempt.
Yes.
All right, so we got some sketches though. These
Yeah.
are pretty cool. Those 3 little random shapes that we had became a sad snowball, or maybe an angry one, a giraffe driving a car, and a space shuttle.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. So what do you think we should kind of polish up a little bit? What do you think is worth polishing up?
The giraffe is just too adorable. That's my vote.
I like the giraffe driving a car.
I'm leaning towards that too. All right, so if everybody has already penciled some drawings, now it's when you're gonna pick up your pen or your marker and you're gonna start inking your drawing. And when we're talking about inking, we're talking about just kind of going over your pencil lines and making your drawing a little bit more polished. Like you can see, like, my tires are a little like messy and sketchy, but when I do my inks, I'm gonna make it look a little bit neater. So I'm gonna take my pen, and I don't have to follow exactly on the lines. I'm not worrying about that too much, but I'm using those lines as a guide for the lines that I want to draw. So far, I'm using them as pretty accurate guides. And do that. Jenna, are you drawing too right now?
I'm attempting to do.
Cool.
Is it too late to request the giraffe have like a dramatic scarf blowing in the wind?
It is not too late.
Excellent.
I will go back to my pencils. Let's see, sketch.
For the express purpose.
Yes, because
Seems
that
like
is
those are old.
that's a great idea. Let's see.
I was going to say now it needs to be a convertible, but it doesn't because his head doesn't fit in anyway.
How's that scarf looking?
That's looking pretty. Wind blown.
Okay, we'll go with that then. All right. See, we can always go back to our pencils, to kind of get the idea going. Oops. Let's switch to my pen. Undo. Okay, now we're gonna work on that scarf. Oh, I guess I have to erase part of the windows. That's okay.
That's why I was like, it's not too late, right?
It's not too late. Whoops.
Never too late.
No. If I was using real pen, it might be too late.
It might take a little more effort.
Yeah.
White out.
That's true. There is always white out.
Mhm.
Let's see. Get those.
Alternatively, if you really trust your inks, you can like shade in something so that the lines blend together.
Mm,
So like if you color in the scarf dark and you do it the whole way, it's like, ah, it doesn't matter.
that's true. You're right. What does this scarf look like? Does it have a pattern on it too? Do you think? Actually, I'm gonna erase my pencils.
Mhm.
Oh, let me finish inking though.
Don't know if it would have a pattern just because the giraffe already has a pattern. Not sure if I would get too
Too much.
busy.
I'll do those
Oh
spots.
no,
in
the
color.
neck.
That's okay. I think I can freehand the rest of the neck.
It could be like a clashing pattern giraffe, like it doesn't care.
Oh.
But then that's more work for Debbie.
That is
Depends
an
on,
option too.
depends on which pattern.
Plaid.
Oh my god.
I don't know how to draw plaid.
Actually, that's not too bad. Plaid's not too bad. Maybe we'll do it in color. All right, here's our polished drawing. We're still not done yet because I think I want to use color.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna do this. Meanwhile, maybe you guys can tell me what color card this is.
What color is the scarf going to be? Do we know?
Nope.
It's all up in the air.
Yep.
I want something to be blue.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's the scarf or the car, but something should be blue.
Blue and yellow always work out. I'm a sucker for that kind of combination. Is this blue okay? What do you think?
Maybe a little brighter.
Like that?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Okay.
that's nice.
Yeah, see? Blue and yellow.
The car could be red or
Make it like all the primary colors.
That's true.
It's a satisfying palette.
or purple. Ooh, you don't see many purple cars.
No, that's true.
Complementary colors, huh? Okay, I'm gonna work on this plaid. I don't know if this is gonna work.
Or orange. I'm thinking of like the SMCO colors.
Oh,
He's driving a brand approved car.
Yes.
okay. So, oops, sorry. What color did you guys choose?
I think it's toss up between red and purple. You might need to be the tiebreaker.
I like the primaries.
Okay.
Red.
I'm a primary. I feel like this is a pretty fun kids drawing. So we're gonna like the nice and bright colors we're choosing.
I still haven't decided what my last shape could be.
Oh,
Is the one that became the car.
you drew a card too?
Oh no, it's still a blob right now.
Yeah.
I keep on seeing a potato, but I don't know how
Oh.
to draw a potato.
I actually saw a potato in I think this shape. I saw potato too. Black
To be
tires?
fair,
Should do black tires.
yeah, to be fair, a surprising number of things that exist in real life can just be potato bodies, and then you just add limbs, and you're like, "Ah," and then there's something there.
Yeah.
Potatoes can stand in for a concerningly large number of items that exist in the world.
Oh, now it looks like the Easter Island.
Okay, coloring the fender. I might even add some shine to this fender. With just a little,
It's a newly cleaned car.
yeah.
They have those fancy hubcaps. You've seen those, like,
Fancy hubcaps.
I think, isn't it the one
Shiny
like
tires.
it is a different color and it like spins at a different rate than everything else you've seen? Have you seen those?
Oh, those ones that spin in the middle, the spinners.
Yeah.
I cannot draw those.
I don't even know how.
Yeah, I kind of know of them.
Snowball.
Zooming along.
Zoom. Wait, now I need everything else is shiny. The car needs to be shiny too. Shinies. Okay, we got a shiny car. Anything else you guys want to add to our giraffe friend?
Sunglasses? Maybe?
Maybe the sunglasses are flying off the head, so
Oh, yeah.
we don't have to add them on the giraffe. They're just like a beat behind.
The giraffe doesn't care.
The giraffe's so cool, he doesn't even care he lost his sunglasses.
Ooh.
He's very neutral. He doesn't care.
He's in a hurry.
Mhm.
All right. Yay! Come up with a new character. I feel like he probably has a story that goes along with him too.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's in a hurry. He doesn't care that he lost the sunglasses. We should think of a name for him though.
Ooh, that's true.
What do you guys have any suggestions of names?
Something with a G.
I mean, the thing with giraffes is that my first thought is Jeffrey, but that kind of goes into copyright territory.
That's true. Yeah, we can't really do that.
Jeffrey, but spelled with a G or a J. I don't actually know how they spelled it.
I think Jeffrey is spelled with a G. Like
Then do the J version.
yeah, the other one.
The other one's
Joffrey.
free.
Joffrey. I don't know about
Just call him
that either.
Jeff.
That's true.
George.
George.
Hmm.
Raph.
I kind of want to name his car too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Raphael.
Hmm.
Oh, it has eyes.
Now you.
Yay!
Yeah. George and or
Maybe it could be George and Raph.
aw.
Oh yeah.
Like one of them's George and one of them's Raph, and it's a George Raph.
George Raph.
Oh no, it's a pun. That does sound like the name of a TV show or something. George and Raph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's cute.
Aw.
George and Raph.
Yay.
Hooray. Okay. Yay. High five, you guys.
Yeah.
Yay, new character. Wah, slap. Okay. Do you guys want to play a second game?
Ooh, I do.
Okay.
I do. I'm going to speak for you, Jenna. I do.
I shall join in.
Okay. Now it's more like we're going to create this character together, but I'm going to ask you a series of questions. Okay. So do we want this character to be a human, an animal, or an alien or monster? Imaginary being.
I'm leaning towards animal, but I don't know about Lynn.
I'm open to an animal.
And what kind of animal?
Oh no. Land animal.
Whatever.
Have you already done any underwater creatures? Oh no.
I don't know. Have we? I don't think so.
One of our scribbles turned into a whale, but that's kind of and we did like a jellyfish, but nothing like intentionally chosen.
Narwhal.
Ooh.
Huh.
With the
I always forget those are real.
Yeah, that's true. Those are not imaginary creatures.
they look
Like,
like
I
they
think
should
those
be.
are something that I first found them where someone did art of it, and I'm like, that's a cool creature. And then I found pictures later, and I'm like, really?
It's alive.
It just exists?
Yeah, right? Okay. And what is interesting about this narwhal? Like-
Aside from it being a narwhal.
okay, actually, is this a good narwhal or a bad narwhal?
Bad?
I kind of want it to be a
thinking-
baddie.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because people always think like, oh, the horn and unicorns are always good. You could have a bad narwhal.
Does a narwhal have fins like that?
Most fish do.
Okay. Kind of don't know.
Is it I thought it was a mammal, wasn't it? No?
Well, like, I say fish in that, like, dolphins and whales, you can still be done with that same general tail shape as, like, fish.
Oh yeah. I think it has that tail and then like
Yeah.
fin flippers.
Yeah, I got a little finny on either side.
But I don't think it has like a dorsal on the back. I don't know.
I don't know.
Ooh,
Ooh, he looks like an anime villain.
Mess with this narwhal.
Yeah. Okay. And why is this narwhal evil? Like what makes him so evil?
Oh.
Oh wow. Does he want to be able to go onto land or
Oh,
something like that?
he wants to conquer land.
Oh,
I don't know why he's evil, but I really want him to have like a leather vest.
Oh. Oh gosh. The clothes. Doing clothes is one of my hard.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. It's a good challenge for me.
probably tough.
So let's see, a vest, leather vest.
Could he
Leather
have
vest.
something mecha, like apparatus that will have him enabled to go onto land?
Oh,
Oh.
Like mad scientist narwhal? Oh no.
Yeah, just give him like one of those like vague bottles of science is in this glass.
no.
It works.
Punk mad scientist.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Magic.
And then I want to draw. Okay, what else? Anything else? I gotta draw studs on them,
Yes.
but I don't know if that's working.
It looks steady.
Yeah. Maybe what you can do is at the very edge, like just draw a little bump out to sort of imply.
Like on.
Like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Now you faked three-dimensionality.
Nice. That's a good tip. Oops, sorry.
Artist life hacks.
Yes. I don't know if it has a dorsal fin either. I don't think
I
it
have no
does,
idea.
right?
I don't think so. I think it
I
might
don't
have
think
the
it does
blowhole,
either.
right?
Yeah, you're right. It has that. It might have one back here. I know some whales have them in the back.
Maybe he's like mid-transformation.
Oh,
Oh,
he is underwater right now. He's not walking.
Yeah.
That was my intention.
Mm-hmm.
if he was walking, that'd be a bit worrying.
To make him underwater, I just draw some bubbles. Bloop, 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 bloop. And some kelp. Seaweed.
Easy shortcuts.
Trying to think of other details to add.
Yeah.
I want something.
I'm
Does
thinking
he
of all
have
the Disney villains.
Does he have any other like weapons of choice or accessories that?
Maybe he should have a tattoo.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, you're right. Oops.
He's not just an evil narwhal, he's a hardcore. Where do you even get tattoos underwater?
that's the story. All the anchor tattoo.
Ah, very appropriate.
Classic. All right, I think
Maybe
we
the
might
transformation is in the other direction. He was a person turned into a narwhal.
Oh,
He wants to turn back.
Oh man,
whoa.
like he's
I don't know what you
been-
draw to indicate that. But maybe that's your comic story.
That's
Hair?
true.
He could have leftover human hair. Oh no.
I don't know what.
Oh, he
Thinking of people.
He wants to be where the people are.
I don't know. Sorry, I keep flipping it.
Wants to see them dancing, walking around on the,
oh no.
what do you call them?
All
So he's just
right.
out to get them.
What's that? Oh yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah,
People.
it would be a story that would have to be written out in a comic, I think, to clarify. We can't just get the whole story in one drawing. but this is definitely a good start.
Yeah.
All right, we did a great job. We just drew 2 brand new characters. Actually 3. That car was a character.
Yeah, we
3
got a 2 for 1
characters.
deal.
Yeah, in a half hour. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We did great. All right. So Jenna, what did you draw? Oh wait, I'm gonna stop the share. Hold on one sec. Don't show us yet. All right. Okay, show us what you got.
It's all food related except for the mountain. So it's a strawberry, a potato, and Mount Fuji.
Aww.
And is it even visible? No, I didn't ink it. Fuji, potato, strawberry.
Yay.
Very nice. Can just
Good
make it
job.
I'll
out.
ink it for the real thing.
Hooray. All right. So I think I'm gonna turn it over to Lynn now.
All right.
Draw from reference.
Yeah, give me 1 sec to get my techie things set up
All right.
because I had to let my devices charge.
Jenna, how often do you draw?
Not as often as I should. I feel like I should be drawing more, but the most recent things I've been drawing are my D&D characters.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Fuji.
Ooh, Mount Fuji. Nice.
Wait a minute. I'll expand on it later.
All right.
I need to take notes during Lynne's lesson.
Yeah. I usually like to draw during Lynn's lesson too. I like to draw along.
Oh, you're going to get your iPad ready and draw along too?
I'm going to use my sketchbook actually.
Oh.
I'm almost done with the sketchbook.
There we go.
All right.
Okay, let me skedaddle out of the thing that I was drawing previous to this. I'm gonna use this one.
Komodo.
Yes, that was from this past week's. We made a character named Sally Komodo.
Aw.
She's a nervous little Komodo dragon with a scarf. All right, so my part of the episode is where I'm going to demonstrate a little bit about where we just had a ton of fun, where we made characters just completely from our own imaginations. They're things that people have never seen before. That's a really awesome thing that we're able to do. But every now and again, you want to draw something that both already exists, that you want to look like the thing that exists. And so that's where using reference material comes in. So to give a little live demonstration on that, what is something that we either drew today or that you want to learn how to draw that we could look up some reference together?
I was thinking about that narwhal.
Me too.
All right, let's see what we can find.
Just because I wasn't sure how to draw a narwhal.
Yeah, like,
Is it dorsal fin or not?
this is how I'm used to seeing them. Like just,
That's how I draw
Aw.
them too.
yeah. Let's see what they look like in real life. Let's see if I know how to spell narwhal.
I guess N-A-R-W-H. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Google, for filling that for me.
Oh wow, their horns are so long.
Wow. they
Yeah,
are
this is
so-
why I never think they exist. It's like, how do you do that?
How do you?
How do you just
Wow.
live with that?
Exactly. It's like in the way, isn't it?
Do they hunt with them?
I don't know.
I assume. You see that pun? Studying narwhals is no easy task.
You look almost bird-like with like a
Yeah,
beak.
really interesting.
No dorsal fin.
Oh yeah, no dorsal fin. Noted.
But got the tail.
Yes. Okay, good. That's good. I'll have to.
Okay, I think I'm going to steal those 3 pictures for now. All right, so when you are trying to learn how to draw something, there's a few sort of like go-to steps that you can do that will help sort of build in your brain how the thing you're trying to draw works. So step one that I often like to encourage is to sit yourself down and to just draw the thing. No reference, purely your imagination. Just sit down, do your best, see what happens. This will give you a basis of comparison for everything else that you do from here on out. So once you have your first attempt at drawing a narwhal, you will probably have noticed you had some questions while you were trying to draw it, like, I don't know what's happening with the fins here, or the tail, or the face, or really anything at all. These are good questions to have, because what step number 2 is, which we just did, is to gather reference, which generally refers to ideally photographs of the thing that you're trying to draw. And from there, we get to take those pictures and we get to start trying to find those answers within them. So I'm obviously using digital art. This allows me to cheat slightly, wherein I can save pictures directly to my iPad and then import them into my drawing program. But this does not have to be something that you feel limited by, because if you have the means, you can always print your pictures out and then use them that way. Or if you're very careful, got a very steady setup, you can, if I can merge these, there we go. Also, just hold them up against the screen, that you can keep them on the screen that you're looking them up with. So, because step number 3 is all about tracing over those reference pictures that you just gathered. So I'm going to get a new layer so that I can draw top one. I'm going to get a pen so it stands out. All right, so you may have heard that tracing is not something you should be doing, that you should avoid it. That is not necessarily true. What matters is what you are tracing for. So the key things you usually want to keep an eye out for is what the shape of the thing you're trying to draw is and what the distance between key features are. So if you have the means of printing your pictures and you layer another blank piece of paper on top of it and find you can't entirely see the picture underneath it, that is okay. We are not tracing for details, we're tracing for general information that we can then start to apply to our own drawings when we freehand it. So we'll go through this fairly quickly. But yeah, so the sort of things you want to look for are like the answers to the questions that you had when you were first trying to freehand it. Like we were looking at the fins and we were like, I don't know how those are supposed to be drawn. As you trace over them, that's where you're starting to find your answers.
That was totally off.
Their fins are so high up at the front.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, they're really interesting. Like I'm kind of adoring the shape that these guys are, because it seems like the biggest key features is it would almost be an exact perfect oval if it weren't for the fact that it like tapers off down into the tail. Which means that we've talked about before in previous art lessons about the properties of like squashing and like squishing and stretching. And these guys' bodies are like tailor-made for playing with that. Like you can even just look at the real life pictures and the difference between them, how they're like this amorphous blob that's being like waved through the water. It's kind of amazing.
It almost looks like a seal with a big old
like
horn.
a really, really simplified seal.
Yeah, so interesting.
With a horn that goes off of its forehead that is almost as long as its body, it looks like.
The first picture has a very banana shape to it. That's how I drew it.
Yeah, that's a good way of describing it. It's very banana-like. It looks like its fins are fairly small in comparison. It looks like there's a bit of flexibility in how much of a point you want it to end at. But yeah, their biggest features seem to be, they got their tiny little mouths, they got their tiny little eyes, and then they have the rest of the body. So let's see, I think the mouth would be around there. And so tracing is a step where you can go into as much or as little detail as you like. It's really about what type of information you're trying to gather from it and how much you feel is necessary for whatever final product it is that you're working towards. But one other tip to keep in mind when you're at this step is you may find you're at a point, this one doesn't really qualify as much for the example, but sometimes you may find yourself looking at the thing you're trying to draw and you're like, I don't see shapes. I don't see distances. I only see the thing. It's just a narwhal. I don't know what shapes you're supposed to be looking at. What you can oftentimes do is if you just follow the outline of the thing you're trying to draw, and then you take the reference away, you will often have an easier time seeing the shape that is left behind that then makes it easier to start to recreate on your own. So for instance, maybe you were getting lost in that reference image with all the cute little spots on the narwhal that you missed the fact that, oh, its body is basically a banana, which becomes clearer once you only have your outline left. So once you have traced to your heart's content, you've gotten all the information you feel is capable of being pulled, what you often want to do is move into step 4, which is now copying. So for copying, it's very, very similar to tracing, but this time, instead of doing it directly on top of the picture that you're referencing, you're going to take a blank piece of paper or maybe a blank part of your canvas, and you're going to try to recreate the picture that you're looking at freehand by employing the shapes and the distances that you observed when you were tracing, but now you're doing it on your own. So this would be the part where we saw its body is basically a banana before it goes into its little tail. We saw that the horn is this super long pointy thing. We saw where the fins roughly measure out and line up, and so on and so forth. And we just look at our reference pictures. We remember how it felt to trace over them. We try to remember what shapes we observed when we were doing it on top. And this time you just directly copy those reference images. And so similar to tracing, this is something you can do as much or as little as possible, or as much as little as you feel is useful. But it's just sort of practicing getting your hand to kind of memorize, how does this thing work? And for both tracing and copying, you can also shift wherever you want your focus to be in terms of what it is you're working on imitating. Where, for instance, I usually like to focus on things like the distance and the shapes, but maybe you're more interested in perfecting the skin pattern. And so you put more of your study into the spots and how they fall on the skin, or maybe you're interested in doing like a lighting study or things like that. So it all boils down to what it is that you're interested in looking for. So narwhals are pretty simple. I'm personally not going to put too much emphasis on their like spotty features. But once you have these sort of steps under your tool belt, they will all give you an easier time for pulling off the final step, which is, I'm going to erase that. Step number 5. Referencing. So when you talk about using reference, aside from the fact that you usually want it to be a photograph, what it fundamentally boils down to is it refers to your ability to look at a picture of something that already exists, someone has already done this, to be able to read out the information that you need for recreating whatever it is you want to draw on your own, and being able to transform that information into whatever new picture you want to make. So for instance, let's say these were the only 3 pictures of narwhals we were able to find, but none of them are in the pose that we want the narwhal to be. So in that case, referencing is being able to look at these pictures, be like, okay, the body is a very squishable banana. I really wanted to draw a narwhal like swimming to the right rather than the left. So I should be able to imitate that shape, but put it in the direction that I want it to be for the picture that I want to draw. And you just continue down the line. Like, we can look at the tail, see how it's shaped, and reinterpret it so that it matches what we want our drawing to be. I'm gonna clean that up slightly. That got a little messy. We can see like how the body arcs and how its certain features still line up with themselves. So if we know our picture is arcing this way, the horn is going to be still a straight line from up here based on the distances we see in these reference pictures. Similarly, we can see where like the mouth and the eyes line up, so we can keep those proportions even as what we're drawing is a completely new and unique pose. Add the little fins in. And just like that, narwhals are luckily actually very simple to draw because they're basically just one blobby shape. We are able to use the reference picture and turn it into something that is completely new and our own, that probably looks a little closer, oops, I guess I will keep that there, to the real thing than our very first attempt did.
Hooray!
Scooch that down a little bit so we can see our first picture.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so even if you find yourself at a point where you're looking at your drawings and you're still seeing like there's certain details that you didn't do as well as you wanted to, you can see things that are still mistakes. Like I can look at this and be like, I'm still pretty sure that mouth is not 100% correct. The fact that you're able to identify your mistakes actually means that you have learned how to draw the thing. You have improved as an artist. You're able to look at your drawing now and not just see a string of question marks, but see what the answers are. And even then, odds are, part of why it's so great to draw the thing the first time completely blind is that when you get to the very end of your latest drawing that you used all that reference study for, and you look back at your very first attempt, you probably improved quite a bit. And that's a very cool thing to have achieved.
Can I show you guys the narwhal that I drew? So that,
Oh, absolutely.
Because I improved mine.
Should I stop sharing my screen so that we can?
Sure.
Yeah.
I followed your reference drawings or pictures, and I drew my narwhal too.
Oh, all the spots.
Yeah, I feel much more confident about this drawing than my first one. So thank you for the reference lesson, Lynn.
You're very welcome.
I have also got one, but it became sort of a spoof after a while. There are 2 of them. There's that one, and then there's the unhappy one.
Aww.
It has a story like Nemo, maybe. Like, oh, it's... Yeah. I gave up on all the dots. I like how you did your dots, though, Debbie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yours came out really nicely.
Oh, thank you. I want to know the story with the curly horned narwhal.
It makes me think of like a hummingbird tongue.
Oh,
Ah.
yeah.
Now I want to put wings on it. Hmm.
Maybe you'll write a story for that character, huh?
Mm.
You'll have to help name him for me then.
Oh, yeah. We can do that. We'll make a good team.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's how you can use reference to basically draw anything you want. It's just a matter of how you use the pictures to then transform them into your own cool new original thing.
All right.
Very helpful.
Okay, I think that's it.
Yes.
That's what we got for How to Draw Anything today. Thank you all for joining us. Remember, go to smcl.org to check out all the other programs that are happening today and tomorrow and for the rest of the week. So thanks again for joining us. Thanks for joining us, Jenna.
Yeah,
thank you
thanks
for
for being
having
our
me.
guest.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, see you next time.
Bye.